Hey everyone, just checking in to see if everyone can hear me. We're going to do a little mic check before we get started. I see some people already here. Ayush is here, Philip, Dennis, Mark. Dennis can't wait. Me neither, Dennis. I'm really excited about the stuff that we get to show here today. Just checking, can everyone hear me? A little thumbs up, a little heart, depending on where you're watching this. So you can be watching on YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever it is you prefer. We are live on a lot of different channels. So little, I can see on my end that it's probably working. Let's see, all good here. Exciting stuff. Definitely agree, Golan. It's very exciting stuff. Copilot V2, and I think we have a. Thanks, Golan. So I think we have a mixed audience here of people who have been using Copilot already, maybe new Instantly users. So I'm going to try and keep things, well, not generic, to make sure that everyone can walk away with, at least some inspiration. And then obviously we have time for Q&A as well. So if you have any questions, there'll be 2 moments for Q&A, because I'm first going to run through, let's say, the deck. I'm already a deck person, so that part I'll keep a little bit shorter. And then I'll switch to a different screen, actually jump into Instantly, actually jump into Copilot and show you some stuff that we've been working on and some prompts that we've been trying that, that you can use on your own. And in between there, I'll have a quick moment for some questions as well. But yeah, we'll dive into the specifics later. So hi, Sonali, hi, Jordan, hi, LinkedIn user, and Lewis watching on LinkedIn. Welcome, Lewis. Instantly has been great so far. Very glad to hear that. Now we're at, let's see what the time is today. So we're 2 minutes over. I'm going to wait 1 more minute, and then I'm going to dive into the actual presentation. Maybe we can see who already used Copilot here, like a quick hands up, thumbs up. So we cannot do a show of hands, but maybe give me some sort of reaction. If you already use Copilot, just trying to see how many people actually jumped on it. And for those of you who don't know, It's free. So the moment we launched it, Copilot, we made it free for 2 weeks. So anyone who wants to try it, you can try it completely for free. And you can just try it out on your own, try different things, try different prompts, see what works for you. Then Mark is asking, can we record this or get a link? You can, as far as I know, you can rewatch the live either on YouTube or LinkedIn. So if you just keep the link of the LinkedIn event, then later you can rewatch the live right there. I know it's early for some people, depending on where you are, or late for others. We're always trying to find the best times and the best timing for people. We have over 40,000 users all across the world, so always trying to find a time that works for everyone. But luckily, thanks to technology, you're able to watch everything back. So some people, so John hasn't tried it yet. Well, John, hopefully after today you will. Then I'm going to get started. Before I do one final thing, we're going to do a giveaway so you can win 2K. So that's 2,000 USD worth of instantly credits where you can get an extra year access to one of our plans, where you can use them for lead enrichment, Copilot, what have you. Those are instantly credits you can use for anything. But it is 2,000 USD that we're giving away today. We're going to do that around the end of the stream. So definitely stick around and see if you're the person who's going to be picked for that. Now, diving into the actual presentation here. So instantly Copilot V2, for those of you who've tried V1 in the past, it was very helpful. But with V2, we've really listened at the feedback that everyone gave us and really try to obviously make it more helpful. Just looking at the things that people are doing every single day. There can be something when it comes to execute mode. There can be something as actually launching a new campaign or maybe swapping out inboxes. When it comes to web search, there can be something like researching something for a new campaign, because it's really hard to start with a blank sheet. So you have like that Google Doc in my case staring back at you. There's nothing on there. You have to start there, or you have to jump between different tools where you're jumping into ChatGPT and then Apollo and then this tool and that tool. And we really try to make sure that you no longer have to do that, and you can just sit and instantly chat with the Copilot and do your research, launch your campaigns, find your leads, enrich them, and everything in between. So that's what Copilot V2 will hopefully bring for everyone. I know it does for me. So what does Copilot actually do? And again, we're going to dive into live examples. We're actually going to dive into instantly in the web application in a second. But what Copilot can do for you can help you research IDs, find leads, and launch campaigns. So the launch campaign thing for me is a really big one, which means you can start with an idea. You can research with Copilot. For example, what are some trends right now in e-commerce? That's an example. But also, what are like legal implications that come to the e-commerce market recently? And you can use that for your campaigns. You don't have to start with, if you don't have a lot of inspiration about, okay, what is something that is relevant for my campaign, and you don't really know where to start, this can really help you get started, where you can do something as simple as research trends and then use that in your messaging. Or you can actually research leads and say, okay, find companies that have a cybersecurity issue in the past 90 days. And then you have that list of companies, and you can actually enrich them, add them to a campaign, and send them emails. So those are all the steps you can take within Copilot just by chatting with Copilot. So that for me has been a really big one. And one final thing I'll say about that. So when it comes to research ideas, you can also use it to find, for example, news articles, and you can leverage that in follow-ups, what I call third-party follow-ups, where you can say, hey, have you seen this news article? That's something that I've found to be really impactful. And that's just another example that I also talk about in other videos. And with execute mode, it can actually help you manage your account. So that is something as simple as running audits. You can ask, okay, which campaigns are performing well, which subject lines are performing well, which types of campaigns are performing well. And that is something I find really useful for so many users. I remember back in my agency days, those were the number one questions that we got from our clients. Okay, what, which ICP is performing best for us, and what type of messaging is resonating with them. And but also something as simple as, okay, what type of subject lines should we be using are performing well. You can do all of that just by chatting with Copilot. And I know not everyone is working with an agency. I know not everyone has a sales team they can ask those questions to. Maybe you're a business owner running your own business, and you can just ask those questions to Copilot instead. And you get access to that, to the agency and sales team right then and there in Copilot. That can answer all those questions from your account. It can run audits on deliverability, if your email accounts are connected, et cetera, et cetera. So in theory, you would not ever have to leave that Copilot screen. And it can add leads for you, so you can tell that anything an assistant or a sales rep will do while managing your account, you can tell it to do that. It can manage your entire account for you. It's a huge time saver. And it can also help you surface things that maybe you wouldn't, because it's trained on our accelerator, on our best practices. So maybe things that, like, you have some knowledge gaps because in the end, you're a business owner or a sales leader who's busy, deliverability, those types of things, they change all the time. It will audit your account based on those best practices that we've been training it on. So you don't need that knowledge per se. You can just ask Copilot to run the audits for you, which is just really, really helpful. Then diving a little bit deeper into the web search that we already spoke about. So you can ask Copilot to find the latest news in a prospect, for example, or get a market statistics all without leaving your workspace. And you can actually use that in your campaign. So you can go from that idea to a campaign to outreach all within a single chat, all within that single chat interface. But so by researching ideas, what we see, or what I see sometimes, you have solutions maybe that are timeless, right? You have solutions, for example, in the past we used to work with an accounting software for e-commerce companies, and there it was really clear. There's a lot of seasonality to it, where you can say, okay, right before tax season, that's when we want to just really push out high volume outreach, because it's such a clear reason for us to be reaching out. But then again, not everyone has that, that seasonality, or has that where you're selling maybe a service, let's say lead generation. There's not a lot of seasonality to it, except for maybe December, things quiet down a little bit. But generally speaking, people either need leads or they don't. And for every company like that, that point in time is different. But you can start looking at different trends and different idea relevant articles that you can use. Maybe if you're saying, okay, let's try and sell lead generation services to the marketing industry, you can then just research marketing trends and see maybe how the marketing industry has been impacted by AI, for example. You can say, hey, listen, now with the latest AI trends, is this maybe a good time to focus on lead generation, because everyone is struggling? Maybe you can help them with AI marketing, for example. You can just sit in that chat, research, and then turn that research into a campaign, which is really helpful. But besides ideas, you can also research actual leads. So the example I already gave earlier, recent cybersecurity breaches, but that could be newly promoted key decision makers, where you could say, okay, research, recently appointed CEOs at at enterprise companies in the US, for example. It will find those for you. It can then find the email for them, and it can actually write the emails to them. So that's all, that with that real-time web search, you just open up so many possibilities that weren't there in the past, where you can have a campaign, but now you can pull in all these different bits and pieces from around the web to make your campaign more relevant and just resonate a lot more with the people you're reaching out to. Then the new model engine. Now that's something I'll touch on really quickly. Basically, we've combined multiple AI models just for more accuracy, make it more reliable, make it context aware. And the performance you'll see now in V2, you still have V1 available in your dashboard. So if you are interested, you can try for free, you can compare the two, but the accuracy, reliability, etc., they've gone up a lot in V2, and that's something that we work very hard on. Then it has access to every single feature that we have in our platform. What that means is you can do things like find unhealthy inboxes, find best performing variations, subject lines, you can fix back campaigns and so much more. Anything that you have access to in your account, instead of finding it, and let's be honest, like instantly, and that is because the nature of outbound is that it's not always easy to do outbound. There's a lot of bells and whistles that come with it, with deliverability and this and that. There's a lot of different things and instantly you can try out that maybe you wouldn't be able to find on your own. You wouldn't have the time for it, but now you don't have to click around, you don't have to search for it, nothing. Copilot has access to every single one of those features for you, and it can help you prioritize the ones or find the ones for a use case. You just ask it, okay, what does my deliverability look like? It will come up with a plan and it will actually execute on a plan as well, where it will say, okay, based on best practices, I should probably look at all your DNS records, SPF, DKIM, DMARC. I should probably look at inboxes that maybe have been disconnected. I should look at your bounce rate across all campaigns and then just compile a big report on your deliverability. That's what it's able to do, and it's able to put in all these different things and all the features that we have very instantly. It has access to it and is able to actually execute on all of those as well, which is just super helpful. Then built-in lead enrichment is something that is pretty cool as well. And Sai says in the chat, V2 is smart. You're very right. So V2 really has been getting a lot smarter. Then it also has built-in lead enrichment. So what that means is you can build campaigns from scratch and launch them really from A to Z. So in the past, maybe you could write a campaign and then jump into super search and actually get the leads and add them to the campaign. It does all that for you. It will write the campaigns, it will create the list, it will create the campaign, it will add the sequences that it wrote for you based on your ICP. It will add that to the campaign, it will pull in the inboxes, it will set up the best practices for sending, for open tracking, for based on the ICP you're sending to, it will check which timing window it should use. So it really does everything for you with a simple text prompt, and it does it fast as well, which is extremely helpful. And then you can chat with Copilot to refine lists for your ICP. For example, just this morning, I was chatting with Copilot working on a video where I was just working through it, where I was thinking in the middle of building that list, I was thinking, okay, we should probably split this list into European companies and US companies, and you can just simply chat with Copilot and say, okay, now we have a big list here of maybe my entire market. Let's just split that into US companies and EU companies, and it's able to just do that for you. You can ask questions about other segmentation you can use, and it will give you ideas on how you can just refine the list for your ICP and just have these really targeted campaigns go out, and a whole lot more that we're going to dive into a little bit now as we're diving into Instantly. And then has a new UX as well, which may not sound too exciting to most people, but I found it really helpful because you can really see each step that it takes. So here, for example, if you're asking it to search for leads and do things, you can see the plan it comes up with, the logic that it uses, the tools that it pulls in. So it has access to the internet, so the search internet tool. It will generate filters so that we can find leads, and you can really see all the steps that it's taking, which is just really helpful, just to make so for your own sanity check a little bit, just to see that it's doing things correctly, but also just to see all the different tools that it's using. And you can then, if you want to, do it on your own, but you can just keep following along as it's working, which I found to be really helpful. And then what I already mentioned, so Copilot V2 is free for 2 weeks. And that means you can try it out, play around with it, and see which types of prompts you wanna work with. Now I'm gonna dive into some prompts now. I put together a little bit of a prompt library. I have my different screen here. I'm gonna stop sharing the screen for a second. I will jump into some questions that people had, and then I will start sharing my other screen, and we can actually look into Copilot. And I'm going to start from the top. So okay, here's Copilot. How do we set it up? What makes sense, what doesn't, what are all the different instructions you can give it? Because in the end, it's an AI agent. And with AI agents, you can just train them and give your own instructions and just fine tune them a little bit, just to get to that point where you're happy with it, where you're saying, okay, yeah, this is something that really works for me. So I'm going to stop sharing this screen, going to answer 1 or 2 questions that we have, and I'm going to jump into share my other screen and actually sharing instantly. Let's see if it will actually let me. And then I think the first question, let's see. So Lewis, would the generated campaigns be based on what has performed in Instantly.ai campaigns in the past? That, yes, so that data is massively valuable. I definitely agree. And it is trained on instantly best practices. It doesn't necessarily look, which is obviously a tricky thing because maybe not everyone wants us to actually use their data for training. We learn a lot and then we put together best practices, for example, in our accelerator, in our help desk, and it's been trained on that. In the future, yes, it will be phenomenal if you can actually pull in campaigns from, for example, your industry, where you could say, okay, give me a really good campaign for marketing agencies that has been performing well. It could potentially do that, but we need to make sure that we're doing it in a way that keeps everyone happy and that that actually makes sense. But we're really close to that already, and it's trained on the best practice that we've compiled. Then let's see, sharing my other screen. Then Golan asking, when will Copilot V2 launch? So Copilot V2 is already live as we speak. Let's see. Screen number 3, and here's Instantly. So Copilot V2 is already live as we speak, but for now you can try it for free. And yeah, that's it. Like, it launched last Thursday or Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. And then Angel's asking, can it generate personalizations for the leads? So yes and no. First of all, if you want to have personalization for each and every lead, then it can do so using you can do so using Super Search. But then within Copilot, and actually today I released a video on that, on setting up micro campaigns. You can just chat with Copilot to to build really targeted lists, and then just have really specific messaging go out for that. So check out the video that we're probably going to post today that I did on that. And I think you'll find it helpful, where you can create campaigns with Copilot that are so targeted that they're automatically really personalized to the leads as well. Then last question, and then we'll dive into the actual Copilot. So Shonali is asking, if we want data as per job openings, can we get that? Yes, we can. Also, that's something that came up in my video that we're going to post today or tomorrow. But yes, you can basically ask it, find companies that are currently hiring for customer support staff, and it will find that for you. So here in Copilot, the first thing where you start is in the memory. Now, here's a fun example, actually, where we work in a company called Oralis. And let's start from the top. We clear the memory and we start from scratch. What you can ask Copilot, you can ask it to read your website. You drop in your website, and it will actually analyze your entire website, and it will use that to generate ICPs and to just really drill down on. Sorry, I think maybe my screen's no longer. No, there we go. Sorry, just a little technical thing. Let's see. There we go. Sorry about that. So it'll read your website. It will find your value proposition. If you have any awards, maybe, or if you have SOC 2 compliance or any of that, it will find that, and it will just grab everything from your website to that it needs to start actually running outbound campaigns. You can do the same from a PDF or a text file. So if you're saying we have a really good deck that that really describes our business a lot better than our website, or maybe you have a new product that you're launching is not yet on the website, but it's on your website, but you have a deck about, you can upload it there. And in some really unique cases is not able to read the website, and you upload a PDF instead. So a little workaround for that is just right click, and then you hit print, and you can save any website as PDF and upload that. Just in some cases where maybe it's not able to read the website. In this case, we'll plug in Instantly. Let's see, Instantly.ai, and then we'll go ahead and extract our website. And some of the comments, Well, Dustin, you already helped me out there. So, like one really quick question: someone has open tracking saved for deliverability. So, general best practice is not to turn on open tracking. Then here, so it extracted the business details, so it gets everything that our business does, that Instantly.ai does, and it has just a short business description. We don't have awards recognition just yet, and then the outreach goal. Now you can obviously edit all of this. So maybe you want to run. So here it says ultimately closing more sales and scheduling high quality meetings. Now, if we're saying we want to run more of a lead magnet campaign, you can just quickly edit the outreach goals. Say we want anyone to accept our lead magnet around this or that. You can do that in here, or you can do it on a campaign level as you're chatting with Copilot and say, okay, now actually write me a sequence for these different lead magnets that we have. And then here we have the customer profiles. It's able to work with one ICP, one customer profile at the same time. So when I toggle this one on, the other one will be toggled off, and the same happens if I add more ICPs. You have clone ICPs, you can duplicate them as well. Now, this seems a bit short, but if you actually click into them, so here, for example, sales and marketing leaders at SMBs, B2B SaaS companies, etc., that's just the ICP name. But under that, it works with a framework where it looks at, okay, what are the problems that our product solves? So in this case, what are the problems that Instantly solves for this ICP? So there are different problems. So difficulty scaling outbound, challenges in personalizing high volume cold email outreach. We do all of that. And then the benefits. It just took the website and pulled in all the benefits, or the top 5 benefits of using Instantly, and has it under there. The same as the business offer, which just elaborates a bit more on the actual business offer, unique selling points, and the customer goals. So obviously, when you take all of this, and when you take this ICP, then and you have this research in here, first of all, you don't have to do the research itself. If you're in ChatGPT, you have to feed it all the information. You just add that once to your memory here in the Copilot, and it has that memory, it has that knowledge about your business forever. And you can just start asking a question. Maybe, what are some different experiments I can run? What are some different targeting options I can try? What are some different campaigns I can do? What, like, anything you can ask them about your business, and whenever it will start writing a sequence, it will do so for this specific ICP based exactly on what it is that your business does. So that's how you use ICPs here. Then under guidance, you can add smart rules. So you can add your own rules, so a custom rule, but to give you some inspiration about what these rules actually do. They're also predefined rules. So you can tell it whenever you write a sequence, whenever you write these templates, always enable liquid or spin text, for example, or when you want to write in different language, you can set that in here. Or if you want to do things such as, there we go. You want to do things as always keep. So I usually have this one enabled because I'm a big fan of short emails. Again, this is based on different best practices that we have. So maximum 40 words. You can change this if you're saying, okay, the emails that I'm getting, they're not exactly how I want them to be. That's completely fine. Just change the guidance that's given here, and it will actually write emails in a way that is best, or that you feel is best for your business. So that's the guidance you can have in here. Again, you can add any types of rules in here that you want and just experiment with it. Especially, now that it's still free, definitely play around with it a little bit and see what types of sequences it comes up with for you. So then when we save that, we can dive into actual, the Copilot chat interface. Then a couple of things to notice here. Again, you can find all Copilot if you want threads there if you're interested. But there's the chat interface. You can actually talk with it. So you can start with voice input, not something that we're going to do today. And you can set up recurring tasks. So, give them a weekly analytics, and then every single week, because there are integrations as well that you can find under settings. So every single week, send my, account or campaign analytics to Slack. So that is how you can really look at it as your agency or as your assistant, where it can just send you analytics from your account, and you almost don't even have to jump into your account, or only maybe when you're seeing, okay, all my campaigns are out of leads, let's just jump in there and add some new leads, for example, or launch new campaigns. It can help you find ideal prospects, generate full campaigns, write sequences, generate campaign ideas, do weekly analytics, find your best performing campaigns, and just get general business advice based on your ICPs and audit your workspace. I put together a little bit of a co-prompt library here of prompts that I found to be really helpful. This one, for example, we're going to do, I'm not going to fully run it because in our workspace, we have a lot going on. We're sending close to, well, probably millions or hundreds of thousands, if not millions of emails. So it would take a lot of time to fully run this prompt. But what we're going to say here is, okay, perform a workspace audit of all active campaigns, identify any issues affecting deliverability, such as send time, frequency, domain reputation, or what have you. Summarize our best and worst performing campaigns, including open rates, reply rates, and bounce rates. And even this, for example, we can take out of there. So that's just an example of a prompt you can run, and it's thinking. So it really, looks at what it should be doing, and it comes up with a plan for you. And it usually asks you, okay, does my plan look okay? And you can then start looking at, okay, here's an audit plan that, again, you would usually ask to your sales team, your marketing team, but it can just do it for you. So it will look at the help center, which has access to, that is help.instantly.ai. And it will search the help center for best practices, and it will then look at those best practices, and will look at how your account has set up. So it will look, okay, are all the domains, do they have the right DNS set up? Are all the records present? What does deliverability look like? What are email accounts looking like? It will then put on all your active campaigns, analyze the active campaigns, domain reputation signals. So all of that just looks phenomenal, and it will identify best and worst performing campaigns based on those metrics, like the deliverability metrics, and then summarize the findings for you. Now, it's already doing it. I'm not going to let it run because, again, we have a lot of campaigns in here and it will take too much time for this webinar. But I'll send this prompt to anyone I will send it in the LinkedIn event, and I'll try and get it into YouTube as well. But you can just try these different prompts for yourself, or here in Copilot, just audit my workspace, for example, and it will just you can start with a really simple, basic prompt like that, and it will start thinking. It will start just chatting with you and come up with different plans. It will ask you the different things that you wanted to do. Then other prompts. So an example of a research prompt, you can use Copilot to do research online. You can write it to full sequences and to drop facts and statistics. So if you want to maybe pull in some statistics into your campaigns, you can do that, or in follow-ups mentioning articles from a third-party source. So you can say, please identify, get any recent news articles, etc., that are interesting to us. So let's just try and complete this for us really quickly, where we say, let's say, transfer innovation in the B2B sales phase, the B2B sales space that are relevant to cold email software. And then the other part I'm going to take out, because let's start with a shorter prompt and just see what it comes up with. But you can then use all that research. And again, it will search the internet, will put it for you, and then use that however you see fit. You can use it for inspiration for campaigns. You can tell Copilot to use it for inspiration for campaigns and what have you. So found some really interesting B2B cold emailing tactics. And again, the first output doesn't always have to be the output that you go. You can then tell, okay, refine this a little bit, or maybe find articles, like more news articles, for example. Now this one, for example, it really, piques my interest. So by 2025, 376 billion emails will be sent daily. That is very interesting, making inboxes crowded. Now this gives me inspiration for a new campaign. So I can say, okay, and this is how I would personally use it. You can then copy this and you can say, okay, use this in an email sequence to my ICP and tell and ask them how they plan on standing, how we can help. And that's how you can just come up with all these different angles. Then into the comments really quickly. So Brent, can we get access to these prompts? Yes. And then Sonali says your screen is not clear, it's a blur. Anyone else having issues seeing my screen? I think that would be a StreamYard issue if that is the case. Or maybe it's a, let's see. It is a blur. I think that's a StreamYard thing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to try resharing it, and hopefully that will solve it. So luckily Copilot is working for us in the back, and that will also give me some time to jump into some questions. So let me stop sharing my screen. Now, for some people, it's fine. It may be an internet thing or a bandwidth thing. So maybe try YouTube, maybe try LinkedIn. So quality is a bit low. Is odd, but let's see. So Sai is asking, can we also get stats like site traffic or technologies enriched inside instantly and use that as a variable in a message? Yes and no. So site traffic, not so much. Technologies, yes. So you can enrich technologies. So for example, within Super Search, you have a technology option, and you can use that if you want to. I would recommend just creating let's say a micro campaign for that. So then Mark saying full screen is better at the comments. So if you have the option to make it full screen, that could be helpful. And then let's see. And Dustin says, grab the concepts. You're not going to read it out every word. And then again, the recording will be available later. So by then, maybe it's a bandwidth issue, but on the recording, you'll be able to see everything clearer. Plus, again, yes, so you get access to the prompts that I'm running through here. You get access to these. You get access to the recording. By the end of this, we'll have a Q&A. And then if you're in the community, I'm happy to answer any one-on-one or specific questions that you may have. So if you're not in the Instantly community yet, then make sure that you join the Slack community, and we're able to just answer any questions that you may have there. So we're going to continue for now. I understand for some people it is clear, for others it is not going to continue, and hopefully it will get better for some, and otherwise the recording will hopefully help out. But again, if you're watching this, something isn't 100% clear, in the community on Slack, you can find me, and happy to answer any specific questions that you have there. So then that is the research prompt where I gave it the instruction to then use the input that I found for me to write an email sequence, ask for confirmation, how many steps, typical 3 to 5 steps, how many variants per steps. I just can give it then those instructions, and then it will just write the entire sequence for me. So you can go from research to actually writing full email sequences based on the research, and you can just keep doing that for different ICPs, different ideas that you have, and you can have it come up with different variants and different variables, and just test what works for you. Then a subject line prompt, which is one that I kind of like, which is where we say, compile all the subject lines used across our active campaigns. And granted, this works better if you have a lot of campaigns. So if maybe you've been sending emails for a while and you're just curious, okay, I don't want to guess what email subject lines actually work. So asking compile all the subject lines used across our active campaigns and rank them by open rate and reply rate, because open rates aren't available for all campaigns. And then identify patterns in top performers. I'm just going to ask it to do this for now, and just to see what it comes up with, because it's very interesting. And that way, like, you can ask that about subject lines, about campaigns. You can ask, okay, which campaigns perform best, and what types of campaigns are there? Are they, how many steps, what have you, and that way you can just stop guessing. I see a lot of people, a lot of teams are still just guessing when it comes to that type of thing. Say, okay, I think this type of subject line performs best, or this type of campaign performs best. But you can actually use the data, and you can just ask Copilot to gather the data for you and use that instead of guessing, which obviously is always a lot better. Now, in our case, again, we have a lot of campaigns in here, so maybe before the end of this webinar is not going to gather all of that, because we're getting towards the last couple of prompts before we dive into the Q&A. But that's just another example of an interesting prompt you can run. And again, everyone can get access to these prompts. And I'll try and add as many prompts to this library as well. And then once we have a lot of prompts in here that are interesting, then let's see if we can add them actually to the Copilot, so you can just have access from them there to them there. Now, this one's a simple prompt, but it's also a great one where, okay, compile a table with an overview of our best performing emails from the past 7 days, their word count and reply rate. That's just a little fun one that I found where you can, run all these experiments, but if you're not really tracking them, then, what's the point? So here we can ask it, so compile a table with that. And the cool thing is you can ask it to send it to Slack as well, because you can set up this Slack integration and a recurring task, and just every single week get a table with, okay, what is working and what isn't, or what types of campaigns work best and which one don't work best, and like which experiment works, or do long emails work better for us or short, or for this ICP. Like I often say your own creativity is the limit, and just any question you can think of, you can ask it to Copilot, and it will get that for you. So found campaign analytics. So this one is going, which is great. Then we're just going to ask this one, and then dive into Q&A. And then as well, one question from Sarah: how does one get into the credit giveaway? You're already in it. So if you're here, if you signed up, then you're in it. And we'll do a little random name picker to pick the person, and then we'll notify the person, and then you get access to those credits. Now, this one obviously runs a lot faster because I'm asking for the last 7 days. And then, so here's, our best performing email from the past 7 days had 47 words, and it got, it sent 25K emails, 87 replies. And that is just one of the campaigns that we send. And now we can see, okay, let's compare it to other longer performing campaigns, and you can just really do that data analysis on your account. So those are the different prompts that you can run, different ideas that you can run here within Copilot. Then I'm going to dive into a few questions. I'm going to see if I have access to a list of everyone who signed up. And then let's see, here we have all the people who attended and signed up, and we'll run that through the random name picker, and then we'll find out who got access to the free credits. As I'm doing that, I have time for a few more questions. So she wants to ask, where's the link to the Slack community? So we can send that to everyone who joined here. We can add it to the event as well, and everyone join the Slack community and ask any questions that you may have about Copilot, anything else, or share your wins in there. And then James asks, can you summarize how many credits it takes to use in Copilot for some of these functions? Now, we can. So when it comes to credits, for now, it's free, but then different prompts require different credits. What we can try and do is have an overview of that and have it either on the website or in the community. So James, I'll pin your question and I'll get back to you personally myself, and then we'll try and do it in a way that that hopefully everyone else can benefit from that as well. Scott, those actually turned up here should only be eligible to win. So what I have here is a list of people who showed up, if I'm not mistaken. List of attendees. There we go. Yes, that is true, Scott. So you're well, in pole position, I wouldn't say, but all of you who showed up are in pole position. So let's see. I'm going to paste these names in here, and that should give me a random winner. And then that person will contact them and make sure that we are connected on LinkedIn, but we'll reach out to you as well, and you get 1 year access to the free plan. Let's see, pick a random entry. So that is Emirhan Agdenish. Hope I'm pronounced that right. So Emirhan, you are the winner. So congratulations. That is exciting. So if you're here, celebrate with us, and I'll make sure that we'll contact you. Someone on our team contacts you as well. For anyone who didn't win, Copilot is still free, so you can just try Copilot and try it out for yourself, and it won't cost you any credits. It's still 100% free for now. And after that, there's some questions on, if I can please check my screen, not 100% sure what you mean by that, but if it's still blurry for others, then we're just going to dive into Q&A now, and then hopefully the recording will be better quality. So let's remove this, and you'll always only be looking at me. Let's see. There we go. So Nikolai already found the use case. So he said, I will start by getting your campaigns active in August, fetch the analytics, etc. Then a temporary issue. Then every now and then. So if it's a big ask, it will at times run into an issue. But then again, we're actively working on that every single day, working on that. But even if it's a small issue, a little refresh usually fixes it, or jumping into a new chat and just using the same prompt fixes it. But then, yesterday we rolled out a fix for a lot of small issues, and we're still, in that launching phase, and we're actively squashing every small bug that is out there. Enrique is asking, I'm on growth and wondering if it will be worth me to upgrade. I would say yes, but I'm biased. I love Copilot. In the end, you can decide that for yourself because you now have access to it for free. So try it and see if it makes your day, if it makes your life easier. And then I would imagine it does. Hopefully it does, and then you can decide for yourself if it makes sense to upgrade. And with the credits, everything, you can do a lot more as well. Then where are the prompts going to be located? So I will share this, the document that we went over. I will drop it in LinkedIn, on the LinkedIn event, and then I will talk to the marketing team and see if we can send the recording and the document as an email as well, or at least to everyone who registered for the event, so they have access to that. So you'll have it on LinkedIn, guaranteed, and then hopefully you'll get it in your inbox as well. Then let's see. So she once said that you just switched to Instantly. That is great, and I fully support your choice. And then those are more or less the questions that I have here. Some more questions about pricing and the plan differences is not something that I can go too deep into right now, but I'll because there's so many questions around it, I'll talk to marketing and see if we can circulate an email just covering the different, pricing difference between the plans, but also talking about credits and how many credits are consumed with each prompt, et cetera, because it seems, people are curious about that, and we haven't done maybe a good enough job to make that really clear. So we definitely work on making that clear. And if you're registered for this event, then just wait, and it will hopefully show up in your inbox. And then, Sarah, what would you say are the key takeaway points as a business owner and user of Instantly that they can implement today? That is a really, really great question. So the key takeaway points are that you, especially as a business owner, you no longer need to rely on others to have really, really good cold outreach campaigns going out and monitor them. So instead of maybe considering hiring an agency or hiring someone, like, yes, at some point you're going to need a sales team, but for now you're able to manage your accounts just by chatting, the same way you probably, you and me and everyone else right now are chatting with ChatGPT. You can now do the exact same thing with your Instantly account. So ask it, okay, I have this idea, can you launch it for me? It can do that. And then later you can ask me which of my ideas is performing best, and let's prioritize that idea, etc. So that for me would be the key takeaway. As a business owner, you now have access to all of that, and you can just launch all your different ideas really quickly, and then focus on the ones that perform best as you are focusing on your actual business and growing your business, while Instantly and Copilot take care of everything else. That for me would be the key takeaway I would love for you to take away from this. Can we send emails manually? There are some options within Salesflow where you can make different lists, and for example, people who responded to your campaigns but haven't responded in the last 90 days, and then you can send them emails. That is something that's a slightly different topic than your Copilot that we're talking about right now. I'll see. I believe that's in the help desk, and otherwise ping me on LinkedIn. I can shoot you a quick loom on how you can do that. And those are the questions that we're going to go through today, because we're running out of time. I want to leave a little bit of room for some people to still ask a couple of questions, Zane asks, which plan would I need in order to have access to Copilot? Again, for now, it's free. And after that, you can upgrade to, I believe it's Growth, where you get access to it. And then we have different plans available for sales flow, etc. as well, which just adds, more tools to the Copilot tool belt. Then Nadia's asking, I have an Instantly account already, which is great. How do I link my current Instantly account with Copilot? So Copilot you have available, where if you enter your Instantly account on the left, well, first of all, it should load as you're going into your account. On the left, it says Instantly Copilot. You just click that, and that's everything. Then you have access to Copilot, because for now it's free. You can still use it for free, test it out, and see if it works for you. And then you can, there are follow-up questions. I want to be able to test my outreach. You can do that exactly. You can just tell Copilot, hey, I want to run, this idea that I have, or that idea, or these or those tests, and it can just, run that for you. So you don't need to do anything else to get access to it. Just hop into your Instantly account, click Copilot on the left-hand side if it doesn't show up automatically, and then you start chatting with it. Add the memory first, so add your website, but after that, you're good to go. Then Tulsi is asking, Instantly better for B2B or B2C? 100% or probably 95% for B2B. I'm sure people have explored B2C options, but that isn't necessarily something that we want to encourage. So I would say, 100% B2B. We're really a B2B platform. If you're looking for more B2B, let's say marketing automation, that type of thing, then something like MailChimp, those types of tools will be a better fit for your use case, probably not knowing anything about your use case. But if you're looking for B2B, use cases, then looking more at email marketing platforms will be probably a better idea there. So that's it for today. Signing off. The recording will be on YouTube. Recording will be on LinkedIn as well, and then the prompt library will be on the LinkedIn event as well. Then we'll contact the winner of the giveaway. And then for now, for everyone, thank you very much for showing up, for being here, and for joining One final question then, which links to Tulsi. Can we send newsletters via Instantly? That is not a use case that we recommend. We really are a sales outreach platform. So things like newsletters, Intercom, MailChimp, and luckily there are a lot of tools under the sun these days you can use for that. Again, thanks everyone for watching. Recordings will be available, as is the prompt library. Then if you haven't already joined our Slack community, we can chat there one-on-one if you have more questions about Copilot. Happy to answer any specific questions, well, about Copilot or about Instantly that you may have there. Again, thanks for watching. And in about 2 weeks from now, we'll do another webinar about the different AI agents that we have. So we also have a reply agent, which has been extremely helpful. We'll announce that, but I'm already mentioning it here for people who showed up. Hopefully we'll see you there as well. I'll be there. Hopefully you'll be there as well. Again, appreciate your time. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll talk later. Bye-bye.